Hello. Welcome back to the No Rep Coughing No Rep podcast. I'm with Evan and Danny, and today we're just gonna again chat shit because that's all we do. We just speak shit.
We are serious fitness professionals.
Serious fitness professionals. Now you'll notice, right? If for those watching on YouTube, shout out YouTube gang. I am repping the merch, No Rep podcast merch. None of these two dafties decided to bring their hats.
I don't have a hat.
You do?
Evan has my hat.
I have
I
Danny's
don't
hat
have
because
my
he
hat.
doesn't quite deserve it yet.
He's not earned it.
He's not earned it
You
yet.
can pull your weight, bro.
I literally, I'm the podcast. You two are just on my show, guys. Can you
Danny
just get that
Mahoney show.
clear?
I'm not gonna. You do absolutely. I'd say you carry us for the most part. You bring the humour. You know what I mean? Brings the humour.
Yeah,
but we'll start off with a wee bit of this or that list.
We like that.
We
Okay,
can.
2 seconds. Jordan shaved. I just need to
I
like.
did.
They did. I think
it's-
you look good.
Do you think I look good?
I think you
You're
look
not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan.
You're
Why?
less handsome, but you
I
still look
don't
good.
know. I
Less
just,
handsome.
Yeah.
So more facial hair.
Greater beard, greater handsomeness. And that's a fact.
you look younger.
Producer Paul nodding his head in the background
Yeah.
with the biggest beard here. I know. Do you know what? I was getting a bit sick of it, and it was just mine. It starts to grow outside the ways a bit. I start to get a bit Amish, and I missed the. I was meant to go for a haircut last week, didn't I? Cut it off. I don't know. Katie quite liked it, so that's all that matters. None of you
guess
two
so.
bastards. So
Sorry.
anyway, so we're gonna go this or that. We'll talk about some random things, some fitness things as well. I'm gonna pull up. Where's the list? Right. So these are such shit questions. Fruits or vegetables?
Fruits.
Fruits.
100%.
Aye.
Do you know, like, obviously, vegetables, health, and all that, but fruit tastes nice.
Fruits
You
are
ever
also
try to
health.
just, like, bite a big fat tomato?
Aye.
It's not nice.
about you?
I've actually never done that myself, to be quite honest. But it's like, even when you get like a burger and you get a big chunky tomato, horrible. No.
I like tomatoes and burgers. Do you know what's weird? Right, some people do this. You might have seen some people do it. People who cut about with this could be an ick actually. Right,
Save that.
we'll save that. But people who cut about with peppers and eat them like apples.
What?
You not seen that? Someone eat a pepper like
That's
an apple before?
not a thing. You just lied on
That's
the podcast. You just
definitely
lied
a thing.
on the podcast.
It's definitely a thing.
That sounds like a kind of craving, a pregnancy craving or something like that.
I like eating
Dunno.
fucking
Do you know,
peppers.
apparently speaking about this, so see when my mum was pregnant with me, she would like, chew ice, right?
Oh.
But when she was pregnant with Cameron, she would literally have like 6 bags of tomato sauce crisps every single day.
Aye.
And my brother hates all things tomato.
All things tomato.
All things tomato. Can't touch it at
do you
all.
know? Do you know what? See,
Is it correlated? Who knows?
it could be. I like all foods, right? Pretty much all foods. There's things that obviously I like more and like less, but tomato ketchup is the only thing that genuinely makes me feel sick. I can't go near it. I hate it.
I will happily put it in my macaroni. Right? Judge me, but I love it. But my fear is, see when you get tomato sauce on like your fingers or something,
It's sticky.
Stop
or
it.
like on like your jacket sleeve or something. Like you're eating a McDonald's.
I'm going to leave in a sec, man. We keep talking about this. That's absolutely disgusting. Here's one thing. It's not on the list, right? But say if we were young whippersnappers again, single whippersnappers, which we aren't. We're all snapped up. Would you prefer, right? First date, right? Would you rather go out for drinks or go for a walk?
I would rather go for a walk. How are you, Danny?
First date,
Mm-hmm.
drinks.
Aye.
Aye.
I used to think drinks like cuts the tension. You don't need to like whatever. But I think like going out a walk, nothing better than just going out a walk, and it's informal. It's not high pressure.
Do you want to know why drinks? Because you think about it, right? Like,
Where's this going?
Was it
people,
your right,
people
Danny?
change with a
Is it a
drink.
lot easier to
People-
kidnap
no.
somebody?
Yes. People change with a drinking them. So like right off the bat, you're getting to know what they're like with drinking them. Is there alarm bells? Are they as brand new by drinking them as they are without? Because you're going to probably drink the girl at one point. You're going to walk. That's like a given. You're going to walk to the bars and shit. You're getting the walk in. You know what they're like. You know how they walk. You get a look at the arse and shit. But I'm just saying, like, let me. But
That's actually a good point.
yeah,
It's because imagine you went on like 3 or 4 dates with somebody, and then
yeah,
on the 5th one you just go out for
They're
a drink,
perfect,
and
but then
they're
you
an
go for a
absolute
drink.
whopper.
aye.
Aye, but the
They
thing
get
is,
bad. They make you ick. You're like, my God, why are they doing that? They're rowdy. They go on tables. They shout
here's the
and
thing.
shit.
Here's the thing. That can change. Whereas if you meet someone in person and they're sober and they're like, they're just a wrong, and when they're sober, but they're enjoyable to be around when they're drunk. you're going to spend more time around somebody sober, hopefully, right? Then you get a better sense of the person when they're sober rather than when they've got a drink in them.
So
Because some of
just-
their drink in them can change. Because I've changed probably, like from what I used to be.
So
totally.
meet them somewhere that requires you to walk to the place to get drink, and then you at least get a good feel for.
We'll be at Glasgow Green. We're going
know
for
what I mean?
drinks.
Shaw's.
Central Station.
We're going to drink finishing.
Fucking cross country through Glasgow to find out the bar. Right, would you rather intense pain for 10 minutes or a dull pain for 1 day?
Intense pain for 10 minutes.
Aye.
Aye, fuck that all day. Definitely not. See, like, my knees is actually like a dull pain all the time. I'd rather have it over and done in 10 minutes.
You're that used to having that in your knee that it's just there. What about you?
I say a dull pain all day.
Would you?
Aye.
Nah, I'd have to go up to the intense option for 10 minutes and then it go on. Because I've lived with a dull pain in my elbows and
It's just
knees
a
and
day
shit.
though.
Ah, no, man.
Why
it's
endure?
brutal.
Like you can endure that, but 10 minutes on.
But why would you? If I said to you like jump the treadmill for 10 minutes or jump the treadmill for 24 hours, what would you rather do?
Oh, 24.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? You'd rather just fucking rat it for 10 minutes.
Smash it out, get it done.
Aye,
Yeah,
I
get
can't
it
say they're different though.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
different. It's two different things entirely. That paid and I tried. Oh, come on, come on. Can't you compare them, mate?
Would you only rather hang about with? Sounds a bit creepy, but it's not.
Let's go.
Hang about with young kids or old people. And in the non-creepiest way possible.
Old people.
Would you?
Like, I'm so sorry to
Aye.
everyone listening. I just can't go kids.
What?
Especially Hattie. No, kid on. Especially your
I kill you.
No. I don't have like a rapport with kids. I just can't like see what the wee kind of grubby hands like touching things and stuff as well. It really bothers me actually, right? And but see old people have stories in that.
They do. They're full of wisdom.
I think they're cute.
Yeah, they're full of wisdom and they know stuff. They know some things. They've been through the trenches.
What age is the?
Aye, so what is
Because
I
that's
don't know.
like.
Say like under 10. They can still hold some
But that's-
conversation.
But over the age of 4, it's
Yeah.
so different how they act.
Aye, of course.
I know they can be
'Cause
funny. They can be funny with guys.
Funny
Do you know what I mean?
guys, exactly.
That's a tough one. I would probably say.
I think
I would say old folk.
old folks, see, because old folk
Aye.
are lonely in that as well. Not
Aye.
all of them, right? But some of you say we lonely. A wee lonely old guy. Oh, what's happening, Bear?
It's what you can get.
Like,
You can learn.
yeah,
You can learn a wee
you're
bit of something for somebody, an older person. You can learn a wee bit of something, can't you?
Right, we'll make it. It's a couple of fitness ones. Barbell bench or dumbbell bench?
I like a barbell bench.
It's your big boy, big strong boy.
Big strong boy. But there's just something magical about it, isn't there?
I think so.
I don't bench. Remember?
you don't bench.
Barbell bench.
Don't bench or can't bench.
Oh.
I do bench.
I'd often opt for barbell as well. Oh, you said this in the car. What was it? Stairmaster? What
Aye,
was it?
so to grow your glutes, Stairmaster kickbacks or the thing where you push down the assisted pull up machine.
If you could only do one,
If you really do one.
how many reps?
If you
are
really
there?
do one to not grow your
How
glutes.
long in the Stairmaster and how many reps? are
24
there?
hours on the Stairmaster or 10 minutes on the press down thing.
10 minutes.
I feel like we're
Aye.
attacking all
Aye.
the Insta girls.
The Insta girls.
Aye.
The Insta girls. What's your thoughts on like the whole Instagram fitness movement? Oh, sorry, today we're sponsored by. Did they come through with the sponsorship?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they paid-
we are
have they
now
sent us a check?
Sent us a
the Monster Energy No Net podcast
So they've sent us they cut us a check. It was
100 per quarter. 100k per quarter.
per quarter.
okay. Shout out Monster. What do you think of the whole refreshing?
X. When people say refreshing. Fuck.
When they slurp.
And they go,
When they slurp a drink, they go.
Oh no. Oh. Aye.
Yeah, that's it.
do you know that is one of my exes, the
Aye.
way people eat.
I'm loud
Noise.
eating.
Or
I'm a
just
loud
to
eater.
see that I used to work with a guy and he used to every single bite he'd go like so he'd put a spoon in his mouth and go,
Right, do you know 10 people just turned it off as soon as you did that into the
I don't want them to fucking listen to us anyway to eat like that. Fuck. Get the fuck.
No, right, so bring it back. So what do you think of the whole the fitness Instagram space for women and all that? Like the whole how it's so easily what's the word? Influenced by like the likes of Gymshark and stuff like that. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing?
I'm going to be Switzerland again. Do you know this? We should change this to the Switzerland podcast because we're so in the middle with everything.
That's it.
Good bits and bad bits. I think that because someone has a big following behind them, rightly or wrongly, because see the thing is, see if you're, and it's not mostly, but a lot of the time it is like maybe females who are in good shape. They put on a pair of high-waisted leggings or shorts, couple of ass shots and stuff, and regardless of how smart they are or whatever, they get a big following, and people will just kind of copy what they do. But then in the same breath as that, we were probably exactly the same as we're younger. Muscly guy, he's
Definitely
taking Trent. No, he's he's doing German volume training 10 sets of 10. We should all do German volume training 10 sets of 10.
Throwback right there.
Yeah, GVT.
Yeah.
I remember actually like damaged the tendon in my elbow for months doing 10 sets of 10 bicep curls with the easy bar. But there was like, bear in mind I was like fucking, I don't know, 16 at the time, and there was 2 15s on either side, or a 10 and a 2.5. It was only easy bar right enough, and I'm basically doing like reverse grip power cleans. But I did 100 of them, and I couldn't straighten. I'm in school the next day. I actually couldn't straighten my arms for like weeks. Genuinely fucked up the tendons of my elbows. Genuinely fucked up the tendons of my elbows.
To answer the, I think the space is getting worse. I think it's more of a show thing now.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, rather than actually like I'm putting this content out to help people, or I'm doing this to help people. It's just what can I get likes on? A shot.
What's in it for me rather than what's in it for my potential followers.
Take this shake.
Yeah.
I saw. Oh no, I can't actually. Somebody was punting keto bars the other day on the line, and they're like, oh yeah, these are the ones I take, and it's fucking this and that. No, you don't.
Do you know?
You lie.
See what I find weird about the whole keto thing and people selling tea and booty and all that sort of stuff. Like, you would think by now most people have seen through the bullshit. Like, I just maybe take it for granted. It's like, oh, everybody must know that this is all horseshit. But then there is so many people out there that still think, oh, nah, it's like, it's gospel, it's this, it's that.
It just comes back to that quick fix mentality.
Aye.
Isn't it? People want things instantly. So if they're sold that, 7 days you're going to lose this, 12 days you're going to lose this, people just jump on it. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of what other people say. Have they been listening to what other people have said? That's the thing as well. Because we listen to stuff because we're in the industry. But other people are hearing stuff and they taking it in, did they care previously? And then they might just take that in because it's a bit appealing and they jump on it. So they've not really listened to all the other stuff about it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So to them, this is kind of a new, like, wow, this must work.
I was actually I turned 30 at the weekend, guys.
Happy birthday to
Where's the cake? Where's the cake? And, like,
you're so old as well.
I
also,
am now
really
in the
old.
same age bracket as our man Daniel.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, that's mad. You're both old as fuck. I'm a young spring chicken. You know what I mean?
So basically, I had folk round, my mum's pals and that round for a kind of birthday tea and whatever, and they were just kind of chatting on the couch about, oh, I'm going to try this new fasting thing.
Were they when you were there?
When I was
you
there,
sitting there
right,
bubbling underneath?
no, I've tried the 3-2 and the whatever, and they're all kind of chatting about it and stuff. And I was kind of sitting on the couch like, why don't you just ask me for help or whatever? But like to them, like that's this new thing. We're just going to do it because such and such is doing it, and that's what it is. Like folk, we forget that we're in the know.
Yeah, I would definitely. It's just, and I need to try and take myself out of like my mind where I'm like that.
Yep.
I know, like it makes perfect sense to me, but it doesn't necessarily make perfect sense to the kind of anyone else out there. But we were also talking about this in the car and about how we were actually going to talk about it next week in cyber world, but we can bring it up now since we're kind of on the topic. And it was like the people like whether they do this sort of stuff, like these mad kind of fad diets or keto things or booty, or there's one that's slimming coffee. Seen that
Is
one?
it just coffee?
Slimming coffee, and the one of the boys in the WhatsApp group, he's still friends with her on Facebook for the only reason just to see her post for this exact reason. And she said it's one of the pyramid schemes that sell like fucking slimming coffee,
aloe vera shots and shit.
It's madness. And like, because they attain the quick fixes and whatnot, like some people maybe don't go down these routes of like the fad diets because they know they're fad and they know that they're on, but they drastically reduce their calories to like 1,000 calories or 800 calories or 1,200 or whatever it is, right? Pick the number, ridiculously low. So question, why do you feel that doesn't work, because if someone's eating 1,000 calories a day, they should lose weight. But why do they not lose weight, or why can they not keep it off?
Do I go? I go.
Whatever.
I'll go.
Yeah, sure.
The thing is, if someone is truly, regardless of how they get themselves to eat 1,000 calories and whatever they cut out, if they're truly eating 1,000 calories, you will lose weight for a period of time. The issue is that if you ever try to actually eat 1,000 calories, it's fucking awful. It's terrible.
Like we were talking about with Paul at the start, it's like 1,000 calories for dinner.
For dinner.
For a meal.
Yes, that's a dinner.
For a meal.
And, but the likelihood of you forgetting things or binging at the weekend because you've restricted all week, all these things add up, in the likelihood of you actually straying from the diet is massive. So the reason, in my opinion, the reason 1,000 calories doesn't work is it's not sustainable, and you'll overeat, or you'll forget to track things, or you'll unknowingly not track things. Do you know what I mean?
So obviously, depending on the person's body weight, there's people that are going to need to go low and going to need to go close to that, right? So
Some people might be close to 1,200.
When we say 1,000 calories, we're meaning just low calories, right? Like extremely excessively low. There's going to be people that are going to need to go low to that point. It's just fact, right? Depending on the body weight, but
that is a very small percentage.
It's a small percentage, right? And it's like, it's just that whole sustainability thing. It's like, can you sustain it for 4 days? Probably. Then 50 comes if you're extremely excessively low calories. Then it's just a matter of like that full, before you even realising it, you're caving in. You're completely caving in, and it's like shit. And then before you know it, as Evan says, you forget to track this, maybe forget to track that. You just have a wee one of that just to make you feel a bit better. And then before you know it, you're not sustaining that. You're not like through choice. Do you know what I mean? I think low calories at a point in time for maybe a period can be sustained. Do you know what I mean? And if you need to do it, but then obviously it's a matter, where do you go from there? You can't just stay in that for a long period of time well.
I think you need to have, sorry to just jump in before you, Jordan, I think for some people there probably is rationale that they could say they had a very short time frame and they had to cut a lot of body fat really quickly. If you have the skill in terms of tracking, so if you know what you're doing, if you've been doing it for ages, and you also have the kind of resilience and self-discipline to know that it's okay to be hungry and deal with his hunger pangs. Because I think Eugene Teo done it. He done like a month of 1,200 calories or something. Yeah, just as a kind of recomp type thing, because he's done it for years and he can just switch it on. Basically, you're flipping a switch to be able to just switch on, I'm now dieting. Yeah. And whatever. So for some of the population, yeah, you could do that.
Absolutely.
But it's not the answer for a lot of people.
For the majority of people, it's not, because you're if you're totally untrained to it, and like you've never really been mindful of habits and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you have to try that. It's going to be difficult.
A quote that comes to mind for me when people try and do these drastic changes is like, people overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a year. So like they overestimate and think, right, if I fucking do this diet, train like fuck, do whatever, break myself to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday they kind of half-arse it, Thursday they go, oh, it's rest day, I need to rest on a Thursday, Friday, it's the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is what, like 37% of your week, like fucking hell, you could, like that totally blows absolutely everything out of the water. But whereas if somebody looks at the course of a year or 6 months or a long span of time and go, right, okay, what am I eating? This is what I do, right? This is the step I've started taking with most of my clients from January when they come on board from a nutrition standpoint. I'm giving it away for free, right? Take this one for free. But the strategy I take from them is like it builds off of itself over the course of 4 weeks. So week one, everyone's like, right, what's my calories? What am I eating? And I say, you've not got calories, you've not got whatever. Right, what I want you to do is just track what you eat in a week. Standard week, Monday through Sunday, good and bad, because chances are you're going to make some changes anyway. First week of a new program, people get a bit of a buzz, so they change it anyway, right? So I go, just tell me where you're at. We'll get all your figures, your data, all the rest of it. Then week two, it's a case of me looking at that and then going, right, here's 2 to 3 small changes that I would make right now. Maybe reduce some of your fat, whatever it is, right? That's when it starts to vary from person to person. And then the next week be like, right, okay, here's your target now for just your calories and your protein. Then week 4, it's like, right, okay, now you have the fully fleshed out thing. And then over the 4 weeks, like, it doesn't seem like a lot has happened, but a lot has happened. Whereas if you chuck someone all that at once, granted, like for us, potentially it's like we could quite easily hop into that. Whereas someone that's maybe new to it or starting up again, just finding out where you're at first and then making a little subtle change is massive. And it's people think that in their head, oh, that's fucking easy. I can do that. I can track my food and not worry about anything else. That's easy. Right, okay, next step, boom, do that, boom, do that. And I've found that has worked amazingly for so many of my people so far. But it's different. I don't work with predominantly weight loss people, but that is a big goal in a lot of people's
you're
minds.
giving people time to make the changes.
Aye.
That's at the end of the day. But it just all comes down to where they're at. Where have they been before they come on in terms of what have they been doing? Have they tried tracking before? Do you know what I mean? If they're familiar with tracking, then I believe track instantly. Do you know what I mean? If you can track and you have tried it, maybe brush up on your tracking, get a bit better at it within the first couple of weeks. And then that's just the way I do it. But it depends. It might be someone that's, as you say, it's more about focusing on the habit side of things and focusing on actually just food choices for a while before actually the numbers are kind of things, and giving them that 3-4 weeks to just get comfortable with actually eating and using the app maybe, but not like you need to definitely hit the targets. Use the app, get familiar with it, but don't worry and obsess too much about hitting that target instantly. For some
Here's
people,
the thing as well, right? Why do you always either have to like reduce your calories or up your calories? Like that's all. It's like,
there's no.
there's never like, why can't you just eat at maintenance?
I do that. I do that a lot.
Three of my guys that I had, fucking keep hitting things. 3 of my guys that I had last summer there, I had all 3 of them eat at maintenance, right? And all 3 of them went through pretty radical changes. Now the goal of what I do is like, it's not typically the whole kind of transformation thing, but transformations happen to come off the back of when people train and eat properly.
When they do the things.
When they do the things, right? It just happens to happen. But all 3 of them, like their body weight remained the same, but their physiques and their strength and everything, lots and lots of levels changed drastically. And I was actually having this discussion with one of my clients, Michael, who's kind of went through a decent bit of kind of gaining phase, and he's like, I don't know what to do next. And I'm like, just stay here, stay 80 kilos, continue to eat here, and then slowly but surely, if we continue to train the way we're training, recover the way we're recovering, sleep the way we're sleeping, like your body should slowly but surely start to change. Like you start to build more tissue, fat will start to slowly decrease, and people think it's like, oh, they can't happen at the same time. It can, but it's slow, especially for people who aren't enhanced. But it's not fucking cool, is it? It's not sexy. It's not ever.
Well, as soon as there's muscle gained, and this is a big thing you need to remember, your body can then start handling food better, can handle carbohydrates better, and all the rest of it. And this is how that comes back down to not fixating in the weight and the scales so much. You know what I mean? That's something I absolutely make sure people do not do. You
brought this up, I think, before in one of your stories once, and it was like when you get more muscle mass, you burn more calories at rest, and all like people fail to realize this, and like how it's like when you are carrying a little bit more muscle mass, like eating at maintenance and being at maintenance is probably one of the most powerful things that people aren't utilizing right now. It's either bulk cut.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
This is really kind of what folk are training for, isn't it? It's like you're kind of creating new maintenances.
Yeah.
Like imagine your maintenance was 1,500 calories, right?
Yeah.
That's for kind of true maintenance. Wouldn't you rather that be 1,750 or 1,800?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want more food?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you need to kind of go through that kind of muscle building period, tidy up your body fat, muscle building over a couple of phases to then create that new.
Definitely. There's some people that can go maintenance right away and stay in it, but not all can. Do you know what I mean? Some have to go through a fat loss phase first, weight loss phase first. Then it's build the calories back up again, reverse diet and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
you know
it's not for a lot of people who are maybe not as trained or as conditioned. It's like it might not always be the first port of call. No. I've had a good handful of guys that have came to me now, and it's just like, eat this, and you know they'll ask like 4 weeks in, should I change my calories? And I went, is your weight changed? No. Is your performance going up? Yeah. You feeling good? Yeah. Don't fucking change it then. Like you don't need it. Like
exactly.
It's like they feel it every single week. Their calories or something has to change. It's like, no, it doesn't. You just need to keep doing it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Something I say with the guys all the time is just rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. Do the things. Do them again. Do them again. And then see if it stops working for a couple of weeks. Then we change it.
Yeah. Exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
But it's...
You need to give things time.
Oh, 100%.
You need to give things time.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why people don't achieve what they really, really want, is because they don't give it enough time.
Aye.
They get bored. They're not looking at the long game. Oh, why do I not have 6-pack abs in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
How
Well,
much time is
I have a
time?
3-week rule that I talk about a lot, and it's like, because some people, you know yourself, will
something
get
for
a
3
bit,
weeks and
will
then
get
give
a
up.
bit. No, they'll get a bit aggy. Like they've not gave something even 3 weeks. It's not even been a full week of consistency, and wonder why 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line there's no maybe changes happening. And there could be anyone from social media that's messaged or a client, right? And it's like, give it 3 weeks of you showing up and being consistent with the things, and I guarantee you there will be noticeable change in some aspect, mentally, like energy. It doesn't matter what it is, there will be noticeable differences. And somewhere, doesn't mean there's going to be a massive change. It does not mean it's going to be like goals achieved, but you're going to notice a difference. There's going to be something changing, right? But it then goes back to that people don't give things enough time. Even 3 weeks is enough time to see change, but even that can be difficult. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I need it instantly.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Another question. Is tracking the only way of monitoring your nutrition?
No.
Is it one of the best ways to do it?
In my opinion, I think it's an easy way to do it, and I think it's for a lot of the population. It's simple. Do you know what I mean?
Here's something I've came across a couple of times, and I actually had one very, very recently. And I've tried to we're trying to like change the conversation, change the mindset around it, but it kind of goes on to what we spoke about last week, about like the growth mindset and fixed mindset, how we tell ourselves stories. But when people say they get obsessed with tracking, I don't use my fitness pal, I get too obsessed with it. I see that tons, man. And I kind of, it's a tough one because people do have eating disorders, right? And eating disorders are a thing, and you do have to be careful about that. And there's a lot of kind of psychological things in the background going on. But for most people, not all, for most people, they're full of shit in my eyes, because it's the same way that, you know, we all have banks, you know, Bank of Scotland, Starling, Monzo, you name it. Like, do you check your bank app to see how much money you've got in your bank?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't fucking, like, every time you spend something, you write it down on a bit of paper and then, like, track it that way. That would be insane. Like, that you would...
I better stop doing that.
You'd be fucking mental to do something like that. Why would... Or track it in an Excel spreadsheet, or take pictures of everything that you buy. Like, that would be weird. Like,
I've got 1,000 pictures.
That would seem obsessive.
Are we not supposed to do that as business people?
I don't think so.
That would seem obsessive to some people. Like, oh, you take pictures of everything you buy. Why would you do that? That's strange. But like, if someone takes pictures of their food, oh, that's how I track my food now. I take pictures of it all, rather than like tracking it on an app that is literally designed to help you. Like, that's what it's made to be there for. But people then switch the narrative and they go, I become obsessed with it. What's your thoughts on that?
I think a lot of people... I think people make it hard for themselves. Right? So I think if you're not systemizing what you're doing in terms of your food to a degree, and you're just eating different shit all the time, you're always going to be like, oh, fuck, what's that? That's 800 calories. Oh, shit, I'm over my carb. Fuck, I'm just not going to do it today. Whereas, I suppose you can't eat the same foods every single day for the rest of your life, but see, for a period of time till you get a hang of track and you get into the rhythm of it, and then it's just a case of kind of adding something in, taking something away. Like, I can guarantee you, and this is what I say to people, is that you probably do eat the same foods week to week anyway. My breakfast is the same every day. A lot of my clients' breakfasts, even before the program, have been consistent, have been the same every single day. So it's just a case of chopping and changing a couple of things. So if, let's say, you eat roughly the same foods every single week, you could literally have like one or two menus, right? Let's just say, so you've got a week 1 menu, week 2 menu. Track it once. Do you technically need to track it again? No, because you've done the hard work once.
It's just a matter of swiping.
It's just a matter of swiping.
Totally.
So if you know that pop fucking porridge, chili, whatever else in your snack is 1,500 calories for the day, sound, it's always going to be that, providing you stick to the same recipe.
Totally. That I'm totally on board with that. Is when people don't have other kind of systems. And the thing is as well, like, people might draw a lot of pain from doing something that's tedious. They might find it tedious and boring, and it's not stimulating them. And as they do, maybe start to get friction associated with.
I like that friction.
With doing something like that. So then that's when it is, because I've had that conversation before. It's like, well, like, typically their breakfasts and lunches are somewhat the same. They kind of, maybe they would change out a couple of chocolate rice cakes for a Rice Krispie square, and it's like, you're fucking there or thereabouts, aren't you? But the only thing that really changes week to week is dinner. And it's like, well, if you're kind of following these sorts of guidelines, like where your breakfast and lunch is the same and you have that and you know that that's X number of calories, just track your dinner and just track what you have before you go to bed. If you know that you've got 900 calories to spare, like there is ways about it and there's strategies about it, but people tell themselves like, I hate this or I don't like that, and they're not willing to work and willing to change. And I think that having that wee small rooted behavior in the back of your head, thinking like, oh, I hate my fitness pal, I hate this, it then can echo into everything else that you do. I also hate going to the gym when it's dark outside. I also hate going to the gym at the busy time. I also hate this exercise that gets programmed, and then it just echoes into everything else that you do.
Yes.
Rather than being open, you just why are you smiling?
Because no, because
You're bang on.
it's bang on.
you think
So
so?
I
So
experience
just
like
shit
this
beard.
all the time.
Aye,
So
and
it's
it like echoes into everything else that they do, rather than if they have that small discussion with themselves about that one behavior, then it can echo potentially into every other behavior that they do. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I get people to do sometimes is obviously one of the big problems that people have is the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously the weekend, we've got time off.
we actually need to. You can't just fuck it at the weekend. No,
No,
is
it's
that
crazy,
no? You
isn't it?
can't
It's
just do that.
crazy.
So we stay on it for 4.5 days, 2.5 days. So like half a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We can't just switch off, forget about it.
Calories don't count.
So
apparently.
not right, right. Okay,
That's where you've been going wrong.
I'm
That's, what
confused.
that's,
Right,
whole,
I
that's
get
why
it.
you can't bench 100 kilos. But so what I've been getting some people to do just for a period of time, right, is plan. So the issue is they prep their meals Monday to Friday, right? It's the weekend, they have more flexibility, which is absolutely fine because you know you've got time off, you want to spend time with your family and whatever. But you're also complaining about not seeing progress and being unhappy with how you look and doing all these things because you're maybe not quantifying all these things at the weekend because you're putting yourself in situations where it's difficult, which is sound. So all we need to do is learn how to control that and whatever. So what I've been getting people to do is have their, I'm going to say treat nights, I hate the term, right? But
We cheat day.
basically having their flexibility midweek rather than at the weekend for a period of time just so they can kind of get to grips with, one, being okay, not absolutely fucking it at the weekend, right? And then allowing themselves an exercise and control over what they do in terms of their food and their treats, because it's much harder to completely fuck a weeknight. But 2.5 days at the weekend, it's very easy for things to kind of snowball and get out of hand. And for a period of time, just so people can learn how to, basically it's learning how to exercise, control and developing a kind of resilience within yourself for a period of time. It works, and then you can obviously flip it back and say, right, this is what I want you to do at the weekend.
Yeah. I've used an exercise a couple of times with a few clients who they work office jobs or they're teachers or whatever, and they have like kind of like very regular and like just like consistent jobs. It's not like they're reactive or they're engineers and they have to go to job or they're maybe like out in the van all day or whatever. Like they know they can eat at this time, they start at this time, they finish at this time every single day. So you've got a routine during the week, but then at the weekend, all bets are off. You can kind of do whatever, go out, be social. What I got a couple of my people doing was just tracking at the weekends only. Right, so you save some of that kind of mental bandwidth like during the week of like,
That's good.
because it is a bit of a kind of like tedious task, like tracking during the week, or it can be. Some people can find it a little bit monotonous, which is, I totally get that. But I just say, right, okay, from Friday to Friday to Sunday, track everything you have, every gin and tonic, every bit of pizza, whatever it is, track it to the best of your ability. Have a Domino's, have it, right? Because I know what you eat during the week. I want to know what you have during the weekend. It's like, well, fucking hell, you had like over the course of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you had 2.5 bottles of wine, and it's like
19 gins.
yeah, it's like, well, let's trim that a little and see if we get any results. And it's happened. It's worked quite well.
Yeah.
So again, that fucking freebie out there for you guys. Have one of those. One of those.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, you going back to what you says, like people think every day has to be different, or it always has to be different. Like different foods, different breakfast, different lunch, different dinner, and you're just setting yourself up for failure with it. There's probably 0.2% of people that could probably sustain just changing every breakfast, every lunch, and every dinner.
That takes up a lot of mental energy as well.
A lot of
You need
mental
to make
energy
things
as well.
easy.
You need to make things easy, or there becomes friction, and this is when you don't do stuff, and this is when you fall away from stuff because it became obsessive and hard. You make a different noise for me.
Because I'm solid.
But this
See,
is
because
just-
your hands are soft.
So this is when it goes back to having the same stuff, but just like using that properly, like just swiping the same foods in could take away that problem that people have with tracking. So if you have a problem with tracking, it's just the fact that you're making it hard to try to change things all the time. Keep it simple, keep the same meals in, keep the same breakfast and lunch, and change your dinner all the time,
Do you
maybe.
do you know what I get met with semi often is I'm not somebody that meal preps. I just don't like meal prepping and stuff.
See, it's almost the same story as I don't like tracking.
I don't like tracking. Yeah. I don't like prep. Like people are funny about reheating food, which I kinda get and all that, but also at the same time you're unhappy with your situation, right? So what you've been doing currently, unfortunately, isn't working. So you need to be open to doing something else. So see if the man that gets good results, people are saying maybe you should try this. Be open to it.
That's it. People aren't always open to change. People like the idea of change more than they like the idea of going through it.
Yeah.
Like they're always, everybody wants, all of us probably in this room want something to change, but there's maybe potentially something that's holding us back from actually doing it, because the only person, very cheesy and cliche, and I'm cringing at myself by saying it, but the only person stopping you from doing something is yourself.
Yeah.
But it is like, that is the thing. Like it really, really is. And we're all met with it. We are just kind of somewhat, I don't know whether you want to, I don't like to use the term luck, but some people might deem us lucky because we are fortunate enough that if something does get out of control in terms of our health or our fitness or wellness, whatever, we have the tools and the abilities to change it. Whereas there's maybe other aspects in our life that are maybe lacking, that we don't have the knowledge or the know-how to be able to change it. And those people that come to us are just simply those types of people. They just don't have maybe not the knowledge, but just the strategies of how to go about it and how to actually do the things. That's going on the t-shirt, I think.
Do the things.
Merch. Do you want merch? You want merch?
Yes or no? On this poll that I'm putting up on Instagram.
I would love merch.
I've got
You'll
my
get
merch
merch
on.
when you deserve it, boy.
I know. I'm disappointed you're not wearing your hat.
My head is humongous.
Well, I noticed one from the tinfoil hat episode. Like
You couldn't wear it after you had it on.
Mate, it fit mine in your head perfectly, but then on you it was like.
But it's because I've got so much brain in there. There's so much knowledge.
It looked like, what do you call the Jewish hat? What's the name for it?
I was going to call it a kippa. Is it a kippa? I've made that up.
I don't know. It's like with the wee Jewish hat.
Yeah.
Right, that's what it looked like on you.
It did.
So another topic, I kind of brought this up a little bit earlier with the everybody having a banking app. That I've drawn a few. I made a few posts about it, but I've drawn a few parallels with fitness with finance. Right.
Elaborate.
So I feel like fitness and finance and other things as well do have a lot in common. Now, this is by no means financial advice. Don't sue me. Please don't sue me, right? I'm not a professional in that field whatsoever, but I have noticed that, since I've began to gain an since I started taking an interest in investing and fucking crypto and whatever else, and trying to be a little bit smarter with my money instead of just spend every time I get something, I spend it all, because apparently that's not a smart thing to do. You mean
everything's not business expenses?
Yeah, after 25 years on this earth, I realised that spending everything that you earn sometimes maybe isn't the smartest decision. So once I kind of got a little bit of a handle on it, I started seeing a lot of parallels, and the compounding interest of say if you're investing in stocks or shares or crypto, name your thing, whatever you like, whatever your fancy is, over time you start to see results from it. And again, you see it in the finance space. We see these people we're all inundated with these FX traders. Sign up to my thing, do this.
How many follows you get a day from an FX trader?
It's
wild.
I don't mind. It helps get the numbers up.
I remove them. I'm like,
I get them in,
don't
man.
take up my followers. Be you're push.
Follow me if you want. I don't care. But you see all these things like the quick fit, and people are addicted to that. People want to hop on Dogecoin or whatever, or Shiba coin, fucking
Simba coin,
all over my head.
Yeah, but they want to get these things that will 1000x, 100x, whatever now, because then they can get lots of money now, rather than when they're 18 years old opening up a fucking not a savings account, opening up an investment account, investing in the S&P 500 until they're 45, and then they've got fuck tons of money in the bank when they're 45, but they don't see that, right? And it's the same thing with fitness. We want the quick things now, instant gratification, rather than doing the compounding interest, going to the gym every single day. You go to the gym once, nothing changes. You invest once, nothing changes. But then you do it every day for 10, 20, 30 years. That's when it comes to light. Do you know what I mean? That's when it kind of starts to come to fruition.
Good word there.
You know, ban that.
No, man,
You hate
good.
it.
Good word. I'm speaking English.
But what do you think?
On what? English? No, I agree. But do you think that instant gratification is becoming worse? Do you think it's becoming worse as
in the
time's
social,
going
in
on?
the, in the social
With the
media
social
age.
current social situation, I know.
Yeah, well, when you're on social media, it's went from like Facebook was just like statuses that your mom used to post
Yep.
and your whatever, your pals used to frape each other, all that sort of stuff, to videos that were like a couple of minutes long, to now we're seeing TikToks and Reels, and the attention span's just getting shorter and
Yep.
shorter and shorter.
That's
If you
it.
can't grab someone within 1 second of a video, you're on to the next
Yep.
one. You're on to the next one.
Just, I'm going to jump in there. Do you know, at one point you didn't even realise it, but it was the last time you would ever get raped. That's deep.
I mean, it's give me a phone.
No, absolutely not.
You still
No.
see it now and again.
Do you?
Oh, aye.
I don't.
I
I've
don't,
not
use,
seen-
I don't use Facebook.
I
not seen it in
once
years.
once a year that I'll have a scroll through. I've
Mhm.
seen people get raped.
I can't. There's
It's
actually
actually usually scammers now, but isn't it? I
Aye.
need $10,000 right now.
Somebody messaged me like yesterday saying like, I'll give you £1,000 in your PayPal. Like, what would you do?
Oh, I seen you post that actually.
Yeah, I like to chat to them. Like somebody, like, not that long. Like, no, actually, it was a wee while
Is
ago.
that just because nobody talks to you?
Nobody talks to me. I just want some social interaction. And she's like, hey, if you do this, I'll give you money, blah, 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 blah. And I went, okay, but only if you can tell me what your 3 favourite Scottish football stadiums are. And she was like, and she went, no, obviously went on and Googled it like that. Rugby Park.
Fuck off. Rugby Park top 3.
I
Come
know,
on,
ridiculous. It's so
man.
funny.
What's Greenock Morton Stadium called?
Capello,
Capello.
the Theatre of Dreams.
Would you class it as a stadium if it can only sit like 800 people?
It's got a capacity of 11,423 actually. Thank you.
11,000?
Yep.
Well,
No. Is there that many people in Greenock?
Do you know it's taken us 7 episodes to get Morton on the podcast?
Is this the
Yeah.
happiest moment of your life?
Yeah.
For those
Shout
of you,
out Greenock Morton.
then you've got one fan.
I
Yay.
know.
Our listeners, by the way, we are worldwide. Do you know this?
of course. Number one podcast
Well, yeah, we are number 1 podcast in the
world.
world.
The whole wide world.
Yeah, but we are worldwide. We've got listeners in Qatar, India, Canada, Singapore, mad.
Dunoon.
Dunoon.
Mhm.
Where's that? Dunoon.
Dunoon. Dunoon.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dunoon.
dun.
What's Batman's favourite place in the UK?
I don't know.
Durham. Durham.
Oh,
Durham. Durham. Durham.
Did you say Batman? Pink
That's a big
Panther?
panther.
Is it?
Aye.
Ah, fuck, sees it.
We'll wrap it up there.
That was the episode of the. Ah, fuck that joke.
This is the last time you see Jordan.
I know.
That's-
You don't deserve that. Give that to Danny.
Thank you.
It's my hat. Right, what were we talking about?
Yeah, that's wrapping it up.
Wrapping up.
Are we wrapping up?
Wrapping up.
Cool. That was the No Rep podcast. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
I appreciate it.
Peace.